In this video, I interviewed Tammie. We talk about KDP, B2B business. If you guys get any value out of this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. What's going on? Hey, Tammie, how's it going? Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me, RJ.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, no, we were talking. You had me on your live on your Facebook group and stuff like that. That was really cool. So thank you for having me on over there.
Oh, thank you for being there. It was fun, like always.
So KDP, we're talking about KDP. What got you started with KDP? Can you tell me the story? Tell us the story on what got you started with this.
Well, I've been an Amazon seller for about 7 years, so selling product on Amazon. And then when KDP started becoming popular about 3 years ago, I started kind of. My husband said you should check out doing KDP because I had done merch already. I had already been involved in selling T-shirts and merch and all that from Amazon, and but the KDP side I had not gotten into. And my husband said you should check out, what KDP is all about. So I started looking into it, and I just really enjoyed the whole process of creating these, the real books. A lot of times KDP, people think it's only digital books, but these are actually physical books, paper, real paper.
Yeah.
And so I started creating these booklets or books, I should say. And I put them up, I was doing the low content, which is, journals, lined journals, anything to do with, creating guides, logs, trackers, anything like that, planners. And I was doing all that, and I put them up on Amazon. I was like taking this little class called 10 Books in 10 Days, and it was great. And I got my books up there, and nothing was selling. I was so disappointed because, it was like, I just thought, I'm just going to put these books up and they're all going to sell. And I'm going to just sit back and take in the money. And it didn't really happen that way. So one book did sell, and I found out later on it was my sister who bought it. So that made me feel okay, well,
that's cool. Huh?
So I got into KDP like 3 years ago, creating the low content booklets. And then I went on from there, creating this business called KDP with a twist, KDP for B2B. So that's how I got into starting that business. But I can let you ask more questions. So KDP, that's how I got into it 3 years ago. Started getting into just low content books and creating books on Amazon.
KDP with a twist. I see it on your right-hand side.
My side. Yeah, KDP with a twist.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Then so you get kind of like you pivoted, right? So you didn't see that you had you're like, okay, I'm not seeing success with this.
Right.
What do I do?
Yeah. So what happened was I was sitting there and I was thinking, so I love doing KDP. I wasn't a fan of keywords, which I know all of you guys are great at finding keywords and putting those, and that's a way to draw traffic to your book. So I started thinking about how can I get traffic to my books? And I have a business background. I've been in business for myself for quite a while. And I started thinking, what if I could get these books to be a branded booklet for a business, and the business would drive the traffic to the book? And so I started investigating that a little bit. So using Amazon's KDP platform, but creating these books for a business, say something like, gyms, therapists, could be, realtors, anything that could use a tracker, still staying in kind of that low to medium content booklet and creating a branded book now for this business. And so I started asking some of the business owners that I knew what they thought of the idea. And they loved it. So one of my first books was actually, I was going to a local gym called Anytime Fitness, which is a franchise here.
I used to go to that gym.
Yeah. And they're all over the country.
Yeah.
And so that was one of my first times I thought, well, what if I took a look around the gym and everybody was, you track, when you work out, you track a lot of your reps, how much time you're on a treadmill, say, how much water you're drinking, all your tracking systems. So I asked them if they had anything like this. Did they have a booklet or anything that was a branded booklet for their business? And they said, no, we don't. They showed me a piece of paper that they had to track for their new clients that would come in. They'd take them around the gym and show them all the machines. So this got my wheels spinning. And I was thinking, if we could create branded books for the businesses using the KDP model, then they would drive the traffic to the books because the booklets are under my account, my KDP account. So that's kind of how this was sort of started. And I started looking around at other businesses, and I was really into nutrition at the time, working out and doing nutrition. And another person, I was going to sign up for her course, and it was a mind body revolution. So she said, hey, come down. So I came down, signed the paperwork, I was going to sign. She gave me this book, a 3-ring binder.
Yeah.
And it was several $100s for this course to take. And this is her information. And then the light bulb went on again. And I was like, what if I created a branded booklet for your business? Like, this is my whole little line. And she said, could you do that? And I said, absolutely. And this is what we created for her. Nice. So I took her content, it's all her content, put it into her own booklet, and she sells this course all the time. And I make a royalty every time it sells.
Yeah, so that's the glossy finish right there.
Yep, this is your glossy finish. You can see the light shining. Yep, and I have some matte ones as well. But that was kind of the kind of it in a nutshell. And that's when I started thinking about, this is a great way for somebody who wants to make a reoccurring income stream, but doesn't really have great skills at getting traffic to their book, or doesn't want to spend a lot of money on ads. Especially in the beginning, I didn't, I was like, I don't even know if this is working. Spending a lot of money, a lot of time on keywords. And I think those are all great avenues to go. It just was just a different way to look at it for myself. And so I started creating the branded booklets for businesses. And then I started getting into, people were asking me what I was doing and how I was creating this income stream, So then now I created this whole thing around KDP for B2B. So KDP with a twist. And it's how it got started.
I think that's pretty cool, because it's like, there's not just one way to do it, right? And you're like, okay, how can I do this and create like less competition for myself and still make a stream of income? But then I think it's really cool. So like,
thank you.
How would you approach? And if you guys are unaware of what she just said right now, B2B, so business to business, right? And you contacted a content creator that was creating, like, selling her own course, and then you contacted a local business, and then you helped them with the booklet and made them, like what you just said. How would you approach someone?
So how I recommend, I always say, I've been in sales for a long time, but I don't sell anything, because I approach it by serving the client. And I serve the client by filling the need that they maybe even don't even know they need. A lot of this this type of working with the businesses, they don't even know that you can do a print on demand service, booklet service for them. A lot of times when I first approach a business, and I usually, when I first started, I approached businesses that I knew, because that was the easiest way. Yeah. So if you think about people that you already know and have a business, I would approach them first and just ask them if they would ever thought about having a branded book for their business. Or you can say, what do you think of these branded books? This is what I'm doing, and what do you think of this? So it's an easier in, because they already know you. But once you get this kind of business model rolling, people start doing referrals as well. So that becomes, people find out that you've done this book for so-and-so, and then they go, can you, especially like this gym book, they referred me to many of their other gym owners that they knew. So that became this whole other process there. But approaching, like I said, it doesn't have to be about selling, because that's what everyone gets stuck on. It's like, oh, I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell. It's really, we sell all the time, but it's just how you want to look at it. And, if you're solving someone's problem that they didn't even sometimes know they had, they are so grateful for you. The business owners need our help at this point anyway. And especially during the pandemic, everyone's trying to come out of that. And how can they stand out from competition, or how can they give value to their customers? Creating these branded books is a great way. And then, as you know, in the t-shirt world, you can create the branded book and add merch with it, with t-shirts, and you can keep going on, because you're building that relationship up by either, creating the booklets, creating the t-shirts, whatever your model is. And you're helping them give value to their customers. And they can also, if you want to do a rev share with them, you can create that process too, so they can make money on the books. And there's multiple ways that we can do this, and I can get into more of that as well. So that's how I approach businesses. And now with COVID on, I do a lot of online. Like you can go to multiple Facebook groups, and I always tell people, go to groups that you're comfortable in. Like if you love the real estate world, say you love looking at homes, that's your thing, go into these real estate groups and start creating branded booklets for getting their home ready to sell. Brand it for the realtors. That's cool. So this is one's called Getting Your Home Ready to Sell. It's a local realtor I have. Created a templated part, this part, and then I have a cover that I change for the realtors. But go into those type of groups. So whatever maybe you're into horses, and you want to meet up with trainers. Well, there's lots of things you could do with the horse in the horse world, and meet up with the business owners that are doing training for students. So anybody has courses that are training programs, any of that, this works fabulous for. So online, you can do Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you're in the social media, find the groups that you have interest in. Because usually that's what's going to make you excited. You maybe know a little bit about that training. Maybe you know about horses, and that's where you're going to go, hang out, and you already know the language. That's usually my first thought I tell people.
You said something about I remember you telling me something. We're on Clubhouse together, and you said something about Yelp. You're like, go to Yelp and for restaurants and stuff like that, or just if you see a business on Yelp, they're paying. Like you want to go where the money is, right? Or people are, they're advertising already, right? And you go there and you see, okay, cool. It's an easy conversation starter. Hey, I seen your business on Yelp. I'll make booklets, or I'll make you a menu or something like that. I don't know, a guest sign-in book or something,
Yeah,
and
there's so many ways to really go about it. It's just where you're kind of hanging out, and maybe you already have some relationships. If you don't have relationships, just start hanging out in those groups and adding value to the group, and say, if this might be something you might be interested in. So you're not really having to do that sales pitch. It's not like cold calling, going out, but look and see if say you take Yelp and you see a business, they're already spending money, like you said. Could a booklet be a better fit or an added value? So you can look at it that way as well. So we have lots of opportunity. One guy I met, he was doing a lot of advertising on the in grocery stores, the carts, they always see the advertising on the carts, and it's about $500 a month he was spending. And so we started talking about, he's in the nutrition field. And so we said, well, what if we created these booklets for and that's your lead magnet, that's going to be your advertising. And he's like, I'm already spending $500 a month. This is way better program to go this route and create my own branded book. And so that was another thing. You could always look and see who's advertising around anywhere and see if it's a good fit. But there's so many ways you can go with this model. And the way it's set up as well is you can create a fee for the book. Every time you create a book, you a setup fee. So you're going to make a setup fee. That's the way. And this is your own business model. I'm just telling you how I set mine up, and this is how most of my students have. Is you create a setup fee, so you get paid to create the book, and then you have the booklet under your KDP account, and then you get paid a royalty. So you create say $5 for every book that's sold. Yeah, you make $5 per every book that they sell. So that's how you make money.
That's interesting. That's because it's a whole different, compared to what I show people. Although there's different ways, right? It's not like I can't learn how to do the B2B neither, but it just, it's a different approach, and it takes a little bit more work, but it's less competition.
Right. And that's what I was running into when I was first started in the KDP. It was just so much competition. I don't have a background in graphic design, so I wasn't producing these incredible covers that would sell. Interiors were, the lined paper or journals, so just for me, not being in that field of, I can make this beautiful booklet and beautiful book. And now I just said, okay, I don't have to be at that level. I just have to create something that's going to be branded for this business And the business usually has, see, this is just the little journal on the inside.
Yeah.
It's low content, but she sells this on her website, and I make a fee every time she sells it, or a royalty, I should say. So yeah, you're right. I just took it a little bit of a different way. Like I always said, keywords aren't, you can add keywords, you can do all that. If that's your jam, that works well. But if it's not, this is just another way to make another income stream by using the businesses, their own traffic. They already have, they work really hard to get their people, and so I just able to service that business.
Awesome. That's really awesome. And then, like you said too, it's just another way to like open the doors for more opportunity. Like you can sell them a shirt, or you can pop socket, or whatever the heck it is. There's so much right there that you can do.
When you build that relationship up, RJ, like when we were talking on Clubhouse once, you were saying you have the angle of the print on demand t-shirts. Well, you could add the booklet now. If your guys are doing t-shirts, just think now you could add the books, a branded book for them, and start branding their stuff just with a book. But so if you can go either way, so you can kind of just pivot and turn. So using when I do start with companies, like I have pop sockets for this company, I have t-shirts for that company. They become a client that trusts me. And they come to me for all kinds of different services. If they're doing an event, they'll call me. If they're doing, they want to make something else, like a special bundle package. They're like, call me for all those things. So you can really build a whole business around just the books, t-shirts, pop sockets, and adding that for one business.
I had a buddy that told me to go try this local pizza restaurant, and I tried it. I wanted to go try it when I went to go order at the front, right there at the cash register. I looked up, and I was like, "That's a merch shirt." And then I looked at the book, and I was like, "That's a KDP book. I know it. I know it." And then,
you can just spot it.
And then I messaged him. I was like, "Is that your stuff?" He's like, "Yeah, you seen it?" And I was like, "Good job." I was like, "Real, it's crazy."
It feels so fun to see that. Yeah.
So, but it's crazy because it's just another way of doing things. And there's so much opportunity out there. And I think this is really cool because you're building a relationship with somebody. Not only that, you're solving a problem from, like you just said, because you solve the problem for them, it's so much easier. And they're like, well, how come they don't set up their own account? Like, because it's going to take so much of their time, and they're not focused on doing KDP or merch by Amazon. They're focused on selling their course and doing that type of route and creating a community instead of taking 30 or an hour or 2 hours to set up a booklet, and that would be your job to do. And that's where you're solving the problem at and showing them how to do it.
And being in business, I love what you just said about that, RJ, because that is something that comes up a lot. People go, why wouldn't the business owner just create this themselves? Well, as a business owner for many years of a brick and mortar business, I didn't have time to think of another way to, I'm focused on a business that I'm running. So if you are running if you're a realtor, say you're busy running your real estate business, you don't have time. Or do you want to learn how to do a KDP? It's not really the direction they want. They just want it done for them. They want to be able to get the books and have the books in their hand whenever they want. And as KDP people know, you can always tell the business owner this, is that books, they can buy one at a time. And that's unusual. You know how that is with the print on demand service. It's usually multiple books or multiple, anything you're printing is multiples, but that saves the business owner a lot of money. The other thing is if there's a mistake or they want to add something or they want to take something away, say they've changed their email address or their physical address, we can make those changes. Now, if they have a stack of books from a printer, and I love printers too, when I still use them, but for certain booklets, it's great if they want to make some changes with that book. Amazon, you can do it right then and there pretty quickly within a few hours or a day it will take to upload. But they don't have to have a stack of those books in their office. Like that's what used to happen to me with any marketing material I had. I'd have to buy hundreds of them. And if there was ever anything I needed to change, I've already spent all that money, so it saves the business owner money. It also saves them time because if they want to, especially with like this course, she does everything online. And so when a customer signs up for her course, then she just has the book sent to that client.
Yeah.
So she doesn't ever touch from Amazon. So she doesn't
Yeah.
touch the book. She just has it sent right from Amazon out to her client. And then as myself, I make a royalty every time that happens. So she's happy because she doesn't have to go to the post office. She doesn't have to have a stack of books. We need to make changes to her book. We can do that easily.
This is 2021, not 1980.
Yes.
Some people are still stuck in that shit. So, sorry, excuse my language, but people are still stuck in that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, do you hear yourself? No, I think it's just really cool because it's just exactly what you just like. I think there's a connection, and I think someone's gonna get a connection with what you just said. You do not have to have the inventory. I went to this waffle place, right? They make these amazing waffles, and they put like bananas and peanut butter and stuff in them, and it's like a little taco.
That sounds really good.
No, but I look at the back wall. I'm looking at the back wall. I'm like, God damn, those shirts are faded. They're like my old. They look like my shirts in my closet, and I look at. I'm like, this is okay. This guy needs some help. He needs some help right here.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The shirts, the books, it's all the same, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. And then I'm just like looking at that. There's an opportunity right there. So if you go into a local business and you see that they have a stack of books and they're like faded or they just look old, you can literally make that. Yeah, you can help them out. Like, hey, I can clear some space right here and then clear this clutter, and you can put your book online.
Yeah. If you get a folder, if anybody hands you, which this happens a lot. So if here's a tip for everybody. If anybody hands you a binder, folder, anything like that, think KDP, because you can take their content, and put it into a beautiful branded book for them. That's what this is. This is just their information, her information. She was using a photocopier. And I said, let's elevate your style. Mm-hmm. This is, so anytime you get a folder, like you said, if you see folders, booklets, anything old, time to update and get them printed. A lot of times, and people go to Staples and have some books done, and those are great and all that. But it's more expensive for the business owner. They have to make so many copies at that one time. So if you see that kind of thing, that maybe they're using Staples or something like that, maybe you could create the booklet for them through the KDP side.
And the ink is just as much as the printer now. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So I think it's probably always been like that, but it's crazy just to even think about that. So like that's pretty cool. So that was one tip. Just pay attention to when people hand you like a binder.
If they hand you a binder, and that happens so much, anything you usually go to. And the other thing that when you're looking online, if how many downloads, so you take a class or and they'll download the workbook. Well, that's fine on it, download the workbook, and that's great. But what if, when I get PDFs and now they're all scattered and they're everywhere, wouldn't it be great if you're taking a class or a course online and they say, let me send you the booklet. You get it in 2 days through Amazon. So when you're creating this, they already have the PDF. So if you see a business has a PDF, then reach out to them and say, let's create a branded booklet for you for this workshop. Yeah. And they can set that up, and you could, have it sent out to the customer in 2 days. It really elevates a business. The PDFs are great, and if you want to give free ones away and all stuff, but I hate when all my papers are scattered around, and especially if you're taking a class and you want to have it just, in a booklet. And the other thing, so you can get the larger sizes so that they lay flat too, because that's another question that comes up. So they can lay flat. Nice. This is an 8x5 by 8x5 for a lady that we did. So, it's her content. She had all the content. We just formatted it for the book for her, and she's has her class and does her class. That's freaking
amazing. So, good job. I love it.
Thank you.
I like how you just came prepared, and you're showing it off and like showing an example, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is how it's done. This is what you do. And that's really cool. Thank you for doing that.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, next question is like, because for like Anytime Fitness, if I created an Anytime Fitness with Anytime Fitness book without their acknowledgement and without them agreeing or signing some type of paper, I would get my KDP account banned, right? Like, correct. What are you doing to prevent that happening?
Well, I have an agreement between each business owner. So, and I get an agreement, and we get authorization through them to be able to use that. And we get permissions. And so that has been perfectly worked out perfectly fine. Even with the KDP, the Anytime Fitness, we got permissions to take the photographs of the equipment off the, because this was a company that they use for their own equipment. So we wanted to show the equipment.
Nice.
And so we got permissions, and we got letters and everything from the company saying we could promote that in their book. So we get permissions, we have agreements, and so far that's been perfectly fine in the KDP platform.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
because
awesome.
this particular company, it's a franchise, so they have rights to use all of the logos and all of the marketing material as well.
Okay,
but you should ask that question for sure when you're working with a business.
Yeah, I don't want people making a copying after we publish this YouTube video, this live. People are going to go copying, and all of a sudden you're going to see Body Mind, all your books that you just showed right now on Amazon.com. They're just like rip off. So
yeah,
but that's a cool thing though too about KDP. It's like it's hard to copy, like compared to like a shirt design. You get people copying shirt designs, like that's like the new thing, right? Everyone just copying. There's like a business where people are copying other people's stuff, but with a book, it's a little bit different. It takes a little bit more work. It takes more effort.
And this book really doesn't mean anything to somebody else who's not taking the course. Like the information inside is really her own information. So if you're not following her course, it really wouldn't make sense to you.
Yeah. As
well. But I agree. I think that you can also do like unpublish the booklet too.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. So what can someone do right now to make money with B2B KDP or just KDP in general?
Well, with KDP, there's so many options out there where you can do the puzzle books and the coloring books and all of those, just journals to anything. And I think that the biggest thing is what I found 3 years ago is that the market's pretty heavily flooded with that type of booklet. So if you have something that's going to stand out, and then you have to really niche down now, and you can make different books that maybe are a little bit different. If you can make something's different and you can have traffic that way and create the keywords for that, that works really well. It's just if you're going to create a journal that's just going to be lines and nothing creative about it, and why would it stand out? Or everybody's flooded that topic, say unicorns, how unicorns have been just like flooded. What makes you unique to stand out? And as you know, in the t-shirt world too, it's like, it might be popular for the moment and then your sales will drop. But if you find something more, that's unique, it'll stay pretty steady for you. For the B2B side, how you can get started is if you already have your KDP background, you already know how to do all the books. It's now working with a business and finding that right business to just create the booklet for them. And you start. And what's great about the B2B model is, like I said, you set up a setup fee. I mean, I highly recommend a setup fee because it takes you time to create the book. So you make money up front. So what I do is I get half the payment up. I get half of that payment, and then when I create the book and it's up and ready for them to see and do, I get paid my second half, and then after that you start making your royalty off that book when it's sold.
Okay. So I just thought of an idea, because you go off the freeway, you'll see like these signs will say, we buy houses, and like I publish books for you, or something like that, right? You can create something like that and a very little cost, right? Or not trying to be me, we get like a person that, there's homeless people that hold signs like, hey, hold this sign for me, I'll come back and give you $100.
There you go. That's a creative way there, RJ. That's a good one. That is very true. I'm sure you can. I'll create books for you.
You stand on this freeway, and I get another one, and you stand on this freeway. We're gonna make some money.
You want my sign up?
I'm gonna pay for your food for the day, guys. I'm just kidding. But I know. There's so much opportunity out there that can be done with this, and I think it's really amazing. There's not just one way to do it, right? And I think KDP with the twist, like you said.
KDP with a twist, yeah.
Don't come after me for saying that. You might have that trademark. You might come after me. So
don't go after me either.
So where can people follow you? Let's say people want to learn about KDP B2B.
It is, well, I have a Facebook group called KDP for B2B, and it's KDP and the number 4, B and the number 2, B. On Facebook, we have Instagram. We're on Clubhouse. Clubhouse, it's Tammie, TAMMIECHRIN. On Clubhouse, I'm usually in some of your groups too, RJ. We always merch, and merch money and all those ones we like to hang out in. So website is KDP for B2B.com. Yep.
All right, and then also too, I'll have all of our links down below in the description. Any final thoughts? Anything to say, Tammie?
Well, I basically just want people to think, if you're doing t-shirts, you're doing anything in the KDP world, just think of a little bit of a different way to do this. And I've kind of come up with so many strategies for you to be able to approach the businesses, how to get your pricing correct. We help people. I coach people all the time on how to do this. And there's enough business for everyone. There's so much business that we can't even handle all the business. Because you think of any little niche you want to be in, any business that needs our help, just so much. And so, I'm excited. I love sharing this with everybody. I can't stop talking about it. I've been, like I said, it fell into my lap because I started doing it myself. And then people started asking me how they could do it. And I started showing them how they could. And we do, how to price everything, how to make, agreements with the business owner. There is some work to this. I mean, there is some, it's not just like throw a book up and hope it all works. If there is some way, how to create the books. If you need help with that, we do that. All kinds of different services, and calculating the price is probably the biggest chunk of our business, is learning how to price everything and set that up. So I love it. It's fun.
No, there's a ton of questions right there that can be asked too. It's crazy because, like you said, there's like I always tell people too, there's always new niches every single year because the chicken yoga, like who's getting their chicken that goes do yoga? Like I want to meet that person. Like they'll probably give me a new business idea. You know what I mean? So it's not
keep your ears open for all kinds of stuff.
It's not making fun of nobody. It's literally like, damn, this person's unique and different. Like, what can you learn? Like, so it's amazing. So there's new niches every single year.
And how many businesses could you come up with? I mean, I was in a Clubhouse meeting and we were talking about niches, and it was travel. We got on this travel and just going around to walking tours. Yeah. Creating a book with walking tours, and then adding things like QR codes, and QR codes go to videos, and you're on this walking tour. You could just use your phone, find it goes on and on, RJ.
That's crazy. There's no excuses, right? No excuses.
And there's so much business out there and around the world. It could be just done, and just you only limit yourself if you think there's not enough business for yourself.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Thanks, RJ.
Like I said, if you guys want to follow Tammie, all the information about her will be down below in the description. Give this video a thumbs up, and bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. It's been fun. Thanks, RJ.
You're welcome.